Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Lure Sports proudly brings to you the best racing podcast in the world. Now, here's your host, Lauren Leach, the color guy, Mark Allen, the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast, sponsored by the Corp Racing and Valley Gasket. Thank you, Tim, Ben, and Carrie, for all that you do for us. It means the world to us, truly. It's truly incredible. Mark, episode 171, man, how are you doing?
My red cup is back in the man cave, dude. I'm up at my mom's up in the loft over here, so doing my traditional jumping all over the state. So you caught me up north this time, man.
Yeah. Well, glad travels went great for you and all of that. And hey, man, we're looking forward to the red race tomorrow night.
The red race already, dude. Yeah, we're looking forward to that.
Isn't that just incredible there? You know, it's the A&W Towing and Repair Red Race, also sponsored by LNS Electric and Infinity Machine and Engineering Corp. Excuse me. So some great sponsors that we have along the way there for the Fox River Racing Club Red, White, and Blue series. What a tradition that series is.
Yeah, the thing about it is, if I'm showing my age, dude, I was at the first one. The first one in 1972, that Dick Trickle one, just like head scratcher, like, well, we're going to try a traditional thing here. Oh, look at this, man. What are we? I've heard it's all over the board. I think it's 54. The track says it's 53. Once you go from starting at 72 to 25 should be 54, but they're calling it 53rd, whatever. It's over 50 years. We were at the 50th already. So long time, man, long tradition.
I want to say that's because there was a year that was missed in there for some reason. I'll have to do some research on that. But I think that's where the discrepancy is.
Well, you need to figure out that mystery, because last couple years, there's all kinds of numbers thrown at it and don't know. So you're the right guy to figure out the research there, man. So get on that.
Yeah, I'll get on that for sure. They're saying it's the 53rd out there. I know there's an article out there detailing all of the red, white, and blue state champions. So I'll try to find that. But, we had Lowell Bennett on a few weeks ago. He has 5 of these, man. I think, what does Dick Trickle have? 7 of them, I believe.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable the amount of history that is involved in this great series.
They used to run it on Sunday afternoons, man. I still got sunspots from the being lobstered. Many people, we walked out of there, and man, being down in the track there on hot summer days, man. When I used to run it on Sundays, and I think they run it on Saturday nights for a little bit. They tried it, and then finally it became a Thursday night deal, and we get special drivers that come in, just including this time around tomorrow. We're going to see some different drivers showing up here.
Yeah, it sounds like a couple of travelers. I know Levon Vandergeest was on the list. Maybe Gabe Summers. He's been a rumor, but then I've heard also not. So I don't know where that stands with him. But either way, a great field of cars either way.
Isn't the Summers Memorial tomorrow night too?
Yes, it's the Rich Summers Memorial as well, which the Summers family always comes up for. It's a little earlier than it's traditionally been. So they moved it up quite a bit, which I think is great. I always think of the Red 15, so the Red race, I think that's a good match there.
They put that at the main gate, dude, and I just kind of drool all over that red Mustang. I like red Ford Mustangs, right? And that 15 Thunder Pony, and he always had a classic, one of them school buses that was kind of cut in half, and then in the back they had the hauler. It was a traditional, one-of-a-kind kind of deal, man. Got a lot of trophies, man. I see some pictures of him, and he won lots of stuff back in the day. He was from Stevens Point, and mostly always sponsored by Cops grocery stores. So, yeah, a lot of memories with Rich Summers.
Yeah, I'm just looking up this thing here real quick before we bring our guest on and talk about what we have going on. I don't see that there's a year that we missed. So to me, I'm seeing it as the 54th, but somewhere along the line, there had to be something that happened that they're saying 53rd.
I marked it down 54th, and then when I saw the track put it up, and then all of a sudden I changed our. I went in there, I changed it to 53 because they said so, but I kind of figured out the math there. I think it's 54, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I know a few years ago too, there was a discrepancy. I wonder if that has played a part in this as well. We'll have to get some information here. Maybe I got a picture here of the board that is out at WIR. I'll try to blow this up in our free time here, and we'll confirm that at the end. But regardless, I mean, you're talking over 50 years, just so prestigious. But looking forward to that tomorrow night. As far as we go, the rest of the episode, we got Mitch Meyerhofer coming on. You remember him? I remember him driving that purple number 6 Sizzling 4 out at WIR. He also split time in the 26 street stock that Dave Meyerhofer owns out there with Josh Miller. He did that for quite a few years, and he also races dirt. He was racing Chilton quite a bit over the last few years, but has transitioned, over into some other tracks like 141, Seymour, I think maybe a few others as well. So excited to have him on. I know he's been a fan of the program for a while, so that's pretty cool to have him on. And then we'll do our normal stuff. We'll recap news and the racing weekend. So this is a good opportunity. Why don't we bring Mitch on, buddy?
Let's do it. We're going to the hotline. Let's get her done, dude.
Let's do it. All right, Mitch, thanks for joining us. You talk to me quite often at the track of being a fan of this program, and we appreciate it so much. It's about time we had you on. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I like talking to you and Mark at the track, and, well, any track that I see you guys at. But, yeah, thanks for having me. It's a cool opportunity.
Man, you've been doing pavement all along, but now you're tearing up the dirt, huh?
Yeah, 2023, or earlier than that, I was racing 4 cylinders. I went from WIR to the dirt, and then went back to the asphalt, and now I'm back on the dirt.
Well, I kind of want to start kind of going back. We know the Meyerhofer family and your family has been involved in racing for a long time, but at what point did you know that you wanted to get into racing, and where did your racing career start?
I would say very little. Definitely going to WIR on Thursday nights. Like the whole family. Junior always raced, and then when I was super little, Junior and Uncle Dave kind of got into it together, or Junior did, and then Dave was helping him, and then it kind of just turned into a chain of Meyerhofers rolling in, and I was there every week and loved it from the start. And from 14 or 15 is when I jumped in and couldn't get out of it. Love it.
Did you start in the Sizzling 4 division out at WIR, or did you race something prior to that and move up to the Sizzling 4s out there?
Nope, I started in the Sizzling 4s. I ran my uncle Mike Sr.'s 4-cylinder a couple times, and then we purchased the car from the Beatties. I raced that for 2 years there, and then it slowly kept going from there.
How do you like ripping around that quarter mile, dude?
It's a lot of fun. It's really tight. Like, I remember being 15, not knowing a whole lot, just kind of whatever the family and other racers like kind of gave you kind of just took in. But yeah, it was a lot of fun for the time that I was there. From the time of the super stock also, like that class is extremely fun.
I remember you ripping around in that purple and that silver 6 number Sizzling 4 there. Had some pretty good runs early on and then kind of progressed from there. Talk about running in the Sizzling 4 division.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, the best starting class for anyone looking to get into racing. It's mildly very cheap compared to other classes, and you got a lot of cars to race against. So you learn your car control and you learn like your lines and how you can maneuver through a field. It definitely is the best way to get into racing.
And then I remember you splitting time with Josh Miller up in that 26, your Uncle Dave's street stock there. And again, you guys were great, a great tandem there. Had a lot of success there. What was that like teaming up with Josh, who's a great driver as well?
Yeah, so how it all started was I stopped at Uncle Dave's shop for something to do with my 4-cylinder, and he looks at me, he goes, "Jump in that 26." So I jumped in, and he looks at me, he goes, "You fit?" And I was like, "Yep." He goes, "All right, you're driving it next year." And that was in 2020. And I was like, not really knowing what to do, like so much excitement that I get to finally move up. I was racing 4-cylinders, I think, for 4 years, and he was telling me about that it's going to be me and Josh. And I didn't know Josh a whole lot. Like, we were mildly family, and we clicked from the start. Like, he was helping me. We went out for a lot of practices. He was there giving me pointers from start to finish of the 4 years that me and him raced together. He's phenomenal to work with. So
we're seeing you out there on Thursday nights. You helping somebody out there? Who you helping out there?
I'm still with the 26 car. You can't get me away from it.
What went into the decision? Well, actually, let's talk about it. What went into the decision for you not to be in the 26 car this thing? Is it just you're focusing more on dirt? Was there some other interest for maybe Josh to go more full time? Your Uncle Dave hopping back in? How did that dynamic all work and come together?
It was, I would say, 100% my idea. Last year, I purchased a new dirt car, and we got really consistent at the end of the year with that thing between Seymour and 141. And I'm there, but I just need that little bit more. And it was just something that I wanted to focus on a little bit more to progress that part of my racing career. So I talked to Uncle Dave, and I asked him, I'm like, I think that I'm going to step away this year. And he kind of gave to me, he goes, "Well, Josh is going to miss 2 nights. Do you want to hop in?" And I said, "If you want me to race it, I will. But if you want to hop back in it, he always likes racing his 1 night a year, the stand race." So I wasn't going to take that from him. And he was like, "Oh, I'll drive a race car." And I'm like, "All right, you take it."
So you picked up a heat win. What was that, 2-3 weeks ago out there? How was that, man, picking up that heat win and finding victory lane?
It felt really good. The people that I bought my car from, Trey and Travis Van Straten, have been helping me kind of regroup this car from last year's rollover at Gravity. So now we're kind of fighting with it a little bit, trying to find where the car wants to be. Everything was brand new over the off season, so it's almost a brand new car. And it just felt really good to finally get that under my belt, like get the confidence back that this car is going to work. We just need to give it some time.
So you think the time is it on on the mark there? I mean, is it what it's expected of the learning curve that you expected on that?
Yeah, I kind of understood that the car wasn't going to be the same from last year. And if you're asking about switching over to dirt too, yeah, it's a whole new animal. Like, there's not 2 things alike other than the car that you're driving.
Do you ever see yourself maybe coming back to the asphalt more, or do you see yourself more going dirt, especially in the near future?
Near future, I would say for the next year or so, I'm definitely going to stick on the dirt. If an opportunity comes about, I'm not ever going to say no to driving a race car. I'm just like the rest. Someone wants you to wheel a race car, you're going to wheel it.
Where do you see, so you're sticking on the dirt, do you see yourself in the same division or maybe moving up, or are you pretty comfortable racing, the street stock division on dirt as well?
I haven't really got that far, like, for planning wise, but I would say within the next year or so, I'm going to stick with the street stocks. Ultimate plan is I would love to run an IMSA stock car. It's the best class, I think, on the dirt around here. The most competitive, you get a lot of cars. So if you can win in one of those cars, you're doing something right. So I think that's where I would like my career to head.
So is 141 your favorite track, or you like Seymour, or what do you like out there?
I really like the shape of 141. It's different. It's unique. There's not another track like it. I find myself at Seymour a lot more. It's very friendly. Both corners are relatively the same when you're trying to find where the car wants to be. A perfect oval definitely is the easiest to try to figure out your car out. So, and I like racing Fridays more than I like racing Saturdays. Everyone has their own other hobbies too. I like going up north, so not every Saturday works for me, but every Friday I make work.
You were running Gravity Park for quite a while, and traveling here and there to the other tracks that you just mentioned, but kind of seems like you're getting away from Gravity Park. Why is that?
Not really sure if this is going to sound good or bad. My Uncle Dave looked at me when I got the new car and he said, "You want to go play with the big boys? You want to beat the big boys? You got to go play with the big boys." And 141 and Seymour have the best of the best street stock drivers around. So you race against the best, you learn from the best, and that's how you become a better driver.
Gravity Park is a pretty fun bull ring, though. I mean, watching you rip around there and the other cars, I've got to experience it once. It's a pretty cool track as well.
Yeah, it's definitely a really cool track. I raced 4 cylinders there a lot back like 2020, 2021. I won the Fall Classic there in 2021. That was a really cool one. I still love Gravity Park. It's a great place. It's a fun track, very racy, but when Uncle Dave told me that's where I should go race, so I'm going to listen to Uncle Dave.
Good advice there, dude. Hey, where'd the number 6 come from? What's that all about?
There's not a really good story behind it, to be honest. Played a lot of sports in high school and middle school, and somehow I always ended up with the number 6, and I liked it. And then when I got into racing, I was the 6th Meyerhofer currently. So I'm like, well, this suit, like, this fits.
Hey, man, you've been a part of some championships on the 26 car as well. What are some of the highlights and biggest memories that you have from being a part of that team?
Yeah, there's a lot of memories, a lot of ups. Glad there's more ups than downs there. Yeah, my rookie year, in 2021 in the 26, me and Josh just worked very well together. We weren't the fastest car in 21, but we were very consistent. We were in tech every week. That's what Uncle Dave and that's what everyone says. You're in tech every single week, you will win a championship. And that's what we did in 21, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity that I got and the respect I got from every other driver that I was on the track with. They were very respectful to me about it. So yeah, it was great.
You're one who loves the history of the sport as well. We got the red race coming up tomorrow night already, which is hard to believe that we're already a quarter of the way through the season here. But what a prestigious series that is, red, white, and blue. Of course, it moved to Thursday nights quite a while ago now, so all the divisions are a part of it. What is it like being part of such a prestigious series like the red, white, and blue?
Yeah, I'm not old enough to ever remember it being on a different day than Thursday. So my whole life, it was just a Thursday, but it was just a better Thursday because all the best of the best traveled. But yeah, to see your name on the plaque, it's very humbling. And you think like I had the opportunity to do this and me and Josh got it done. Like it's awesome.
Well, that's memories you'll always remember, right? For sure.
Mm-hmm.
We're, 141, you were talking about racing there quite a bit. They have the Clash at the Creek this week, actually going on yesterday and today, I believe. What have you heard coming out of 141, and were you out there yesterday doing anything, or what have you heard about the Clash at the Creek, and how big is that? Because that's something that Mark and I haven't experienced just yet.
Yeah, between the Clash, the King, and the Captain, it's something you got to see. They're pulling cars from everywhere. And when you texted me yesterday, I was sitting at 141. I was going to go back today until you texted me if I wanted to jump on the pod. But yeah, it's like the Red, White, and Blue series where the best of the best travel there because there's good money and there's good competition. So you got great racing. And how 141 does it, I think, is very fantastic that they only have a total of 3 classes so they can keep the track in good condition all night long. Very racy. Last night, it was phenomenal. They kept it watered, kept it great. They worked it when they had to, and no complaints.
Mark gets to more dirt tracks than I do. If there's a dirt track that I should absolutely get to, which one should it be? And also, in addition to that, what's the one event that maybe I should go see at any track, a part of dirt?
Tracks 141 is definitely it's not to be biased. I think it's one of the nicest facilities around. Everything's clean. The track is great. They keep the races going. 141, and I'm a little biased to Seymour because I raced there. I like that place. It is also a great facility. Everything's clean. Everything's kept up there. And I would say for event, you got to go to the Super Nationals in Boone, Iowa. I went the last 2 years with some friends just to watch, and there's nothing like it. It's the Super Bowl of dirt racing. It's awesome.
They almost run like 16 hours there, don't they? I mean, they run well into the evening there, don't they?
Yeah, last year there was a few days. They start at noon, or cars are hitting the track at noon, and there was 2 nights, I believe, last year that we were still watching races at 2 a.m.
That's insane. Yeah, that's definitely on our list there. I've been to Seymour, very great facility. I wanted to make it to 141 when it was asphalt. My uncle had talked very fondly about the track being asphalt. I'm sure it's the same being dirt too. So I got to make it out to 141, maybe when the Dirt Kings or something's out there. But I got to make it out there. Hey man, what are some of your goals for this upcoming year?
Be in tech after the feature a lot more. Just be consistently running up front. Like there are a few people in our class that are dominating, that are in tech every week, and I want to be one of those guys eventually. We got a little bit of work yet to get there, but I think it definitely can be. It's achievable for sure.
What's your schedule look like for the remainder of the season? Are you running the full season at both facilities? Are you going to travel a little bit? What's your schedule look like for this year?
So I'm running a full year at Seymour, and then which we are off this Friday, so kind of nice. So I'm going to take this Friday off, and then we're going to boogie down to Plymouth Dirt Track on Saturday. They have 2 street stock shows this year, so I'm going to try to make both of them, and then the following weeks are going to be bounced between Seymour 141, and then I'm going to try to make another trip up north. I was at Eagle River a few weeks ago, and I'm going to try to make another trip up to 3 Lakes at T&T Speedway here soon.
Hey man, behind the scenes, who helps you out, man? Who makes you go?
The first person I got to thank are my parents, and then Uncle Dave, Clint Evans, and my cousin Rachel, Tony Wills, a couple of my buddies that helped me at the track, Chase and Trevor, Andrew. They helped me a lot. And then between my sponsors, I got to thank Foreign Machine, Integrity Express, SNA Septic, CT Custom Wraps, First Aid, Fuel Moto, and Emerald Electric, Sawyer Efforts. Yeah.
What other what sports did you play in high school? You kind of mentioned that you were a sports star. What sports did you play back then?
So I played baseball when I was young, and then I ended up kind of switching to full volleyball. My sister was big into volleyball, and that kind of pushed me into it. And I love the sport. It was really fun.
Boys volleyball, we never had that at Little Chute, but I know it's big in Kaukauna, like Appleton North, Kimberly. Those are some good volleyball matches to watch and some good talent out there.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play a lot, and Kaukauna, yeah, they have a really good program there. The coaches that were there were phenomenal. So I played a lot, and yeah, it was one of those things that I loved when I was younger, and then racing kind of came about and pushed volleyball out.
Yeah, I like volleyball. We always played up at High Cliff, but we had a quarter barrel laying off to the side there, so that just made it a little bit more interesting.
The beer league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of your other hobbies, like outside of racing? I know you mentioned going up north and some other things. What are some other hobbies that you like to do when you're not racing and working on the race car?
To be honest, I don't have a lot of hobbies other than racing. It's a year-round thing. I do like going up north and going snowmobiling in the winter when we have a good winter. Actually, go snowmobile. Me and Cody Vanderloop usually go together. It's a lot of fun.
That's awesome, man. Well, hey, it was great to have you on finally. I'm sorry that you missed 141. You could have said, hey, I got some plans going on. That would have been totally okay with us. But
No, it's okay. I got Flo on in the living room. So once we're done here, I'm going to go watch.
Sure. Well, like I said, man, it's great to have you on. I appreciate your friendship and your support with this whole podcast thing. I wanted to have you on for a long time, so I really do appreciate you, man. You're a great guy, and I can't wait to see you out the track here soon. We appreciate it.
No, me appreciate you and Mark for what you guys do. This podcast. I'm a regular listener. Now, I told you this. I liked it on Spotify the best, but I still listen to it no matter where it is. I love listening to the normal stuff. I like listening to NASCAR. I got big into NASCAR this past year and just kind of felt I always loved it, but I got more into it lately. So I like listening to your guys' thoughts on the race too. So yeah, I really enjoy your podcast.
Good luck this year, man. Put some more trophies on that car, huh?
Will do. Thank you.
Well, hey man, before you go, you said you got into NASCAR really heavy this upcoming year. Did you find a driver? Did you have a driver back in the past that you kind of reconnected with? Who's your driver now?
Matt Kenseth when I was little, and then it was lately it's been between Kyle Larson and Ryan Blaney.
Those are some good picks,
good
man.
Choice,
well,
good choices
yep.
there.
Well, man, can't wait to see you soon, like I said, and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it was great to have Mitch on and talk about his story in racing. He's been successful through the ranks here, man, and such a great guy. And that Meyerhofer family, they all stick together and help each other, which is really cool to see too.
Yeah, he's the sixth one. That's why he gets the number 6. I thought that was interesting.
It's kind of like the Bennetts. The Bennetts have done that as well. So that's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, everybody gets their own numbers, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, cool to see him focus on the dirt if that's truly wants to do racing at a few of those places. A few of those places I've been. One place I talked about just a little while ago. I need to get to 141 somehow, hopefully this year. But if not, that'll be near the top of the list next year.
But both of them places are just putting out massive car counts, man. It's just unbelievable. And I was at 141 a few weeks ago, and it's just amazing how the show just goes. I mean, get out on the track, and it's one to go, man. There ain't no warm-up laps or nothing. And I mean, and they put all them cars through, man. It's amazing how they run their shows.
That's what I've heard. And I know I've been trying to pay attention to the Clash a little bit. I know Shane Barr had a pretty good night last night. I saw he finished 5th out there. Going to race again tonight. We'll see how that works out. But I've heard the Clash at the Creek is one that you have to get to. So maybe that'll be near the top of the list next year as well.
Yeah, if I wasn't stuck up north here and coming up here, I would probably, if I was down there, I probably would have been over there for a night or two. So unfortunate, but yeah, we'll put that on a bucket list and make it happen next year.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, I kind of want to start with this or restart with this. NASCAR lost a crew chief and owner over the past couple of days, Travis Carter. So thoughts and prayers to all the family and friends of Travis Carter. So um, I know we're talking about losing someone else here, but just wanted to mention that.
That was a short sickness, man, and it came on fast, and he went fast. So, yep, thoughts and prayers to that family and friends over there, man.
Absolutely. We can continue the short track talk here with Mitch. Mitch on, last week out at Wisconsin International Raceway, Brady Vanderloop was the winner in the Wisconsin Sport Truck. I tell you what, the Wisconsin Sport Truck features have been action-packed this year, man.
They got a whole bunch of them too, man, and they've been putting on a heck of a show this year. It's been very entertaining.
It has. Jeremy Girapata made a late pass there and held on to win the Sizzlin' 4 feature. That was another good one.
That blue 73 can boogie around down there too, man. So, yep, gets a victory every once in a while there.
Yep. Taylor Ron had a great night. Was running away. He ran away with the heat race. Then he was running away with the feature, but a late caution came out and he was able to hang on too. But it was pretty close at the end there.
Was that his first victory?
I think he won one in the past. I think he won one a few years back, but I could be mistaken about that.
Far in between. So, yeah. So, congrats on that one.
Yeah. Quarter mile late models. Mickey Shalley picked up his first career win in anything, it sounds like. That was a surprising note to me. So I was actually trying to get Mickey on, but he had to work on some vehicles to get those ready. So that's more important than coming on here. But also, Don Dix picked up, I think that would be his second career win in the quarter mile late models. He had won. I think it was the last Thursday that the quarter mile late models raced last year that he picked up his first quarter mile late model win. So it was a pretty good night for the quarter mile late models as well.
Two popular victories there. Yeah, Mickey was he was pumped, man. Got a victory there, and him and Mike Meyerhofer are sharing that car back and forth, and they were happy times down in the hauler over there on the backside.
Yeah. Boy, where did Alex Stumpf come from? He goes back to back in the pro late models. He had a long way to go to catch Brazen. I know Brazen was kind of struggling. It's kind of interesting to watch the 9 car. He got by Brian Monday for the lead, but he never really got away. It was like going into the corner, Brian would catch back up. So Brazen was battling something there, and Alex Stumpf, came from nowhere and ended up catching them both and getting by them both there. It was close at the line. I think it was 0.03 of a second that he beat Brazen by.
It was perfect. Yeah, I remember walking down there, and I took my finger and I stuck it on the hood, and that's one hot Mustang there, and Alex was all smiles, man. Like, where did you come from? And he goes, wherever he pointed the car, man, is where it went, man. And that was downright fast. That was a good race right there.
Excellent race. One of the best we've seen.
Mm-hmm.
In the super late models, kind of a roles reversed from last week. Michael Anthony looked like he was going to run away with the thing, and Riley Stengham caught and ran him down and passed him with 4 to go to take the win. Riley, and I talked about this last week, Riley was close to winning last week, but a late caution came out that allowed Chad Butts to catch and pass him, and Riley finally got his win at WIR, and Chase Motorsports is number 47.
Yeah, he told me the week before, he goes, man, I'm dying for a win. I want to win, and I rubbed up against him, gave him some good luck, and made it happen. And he gets his first WIR feature out there. And his mom was, she was really pumped out there too, man. So it was a very popular, good victory out there.
Yeah, it was cool to see someone work hard like Riley and not be from around here and make it happen. The 47 crew was very happy there.
Yep, absolutely. That's a whole bunch of good people all affiliated with that whole team around there.
Absolutely. Craig Krieger finished the night in Victory Lane with the figure eights there. Craig had a really good run. He's been fast, but it seems like he's had some gremlins, and last Thursday worked out for him. So that was cool to see the 12 back in Victory Lane.
Yeah, it's been a while. So, yeah, good to see him out there and get that figure eight win.
Yeah. All in all, a great night. We've seen some great racings. You know, the super late models we talked about, pro late models, Sizzling 4, the super stocks. They were all super close. The Wisconsin Sport Trucks, great racing and clean. I think we were done by 10 after 9. So it was clean racing. It was great weather for the first time all year out there on Thursday nights. And for, we ran that Spring Classic too. It was the first nice weather night out there. And everything just worked out about perfectly, man.
And and isn't it nice when you go in the pits and it seems like nobody's mad at anybody, and everybody's all their toys are all looking good and everything. We had a couple of Wisconsin Sport Trucks that ended up on their lid, but no harm, no foul there, man. It was all good stuff there too. So, yeah. And boy, they're running the show right along there and everything, So, hey, it gives all the kids a chance to run down to the pits, man, and go check out their favorite driver down there, So it's all in all good stuff, man. That was a good show.
It was a great show. One of my favorite nights in a long time. When, I think there was 4 of the features ran from green to checker. It was just an awesome night, and we had some great finishes. It was awesome. I spoke to some fans after that said, "Wow, this was really incredible," and they'll be back, and that's what you need.
That's what we want, man. Keep filling them up, man. People finding out just how good of a show out there. It's family friendly, man, and it's good stuff.
Couldn't have said it better myself, man.
Yes, sir.
Getting into the NASCAR. Actually, let's talk some more short track racing here. I'll consider this short track. What a week it was for sprint car racing in the state of Wisconsin. You had the high limit series that was supposed to run Tuesday at 141. That got moved to Thursday, but they still ran at Red Cedar Speedway on Wednesday night. Rico Abreu took that one. Then they went to 141 on Thursday. Then the next night, a surprise win by Travis Aarons, local Sheboygan driver, shocked the world there. A massive upset from the driver out of Sheboygan, man. That was really special for him.
Yeah, all of a sudden, like, who's this dude, local guy, and beating the big boys, and that was really good, Yeah, and Larson at the end there found himself in the fence. He broke an axle, looked like the spindle came off, and he did a high hurdle into the fence. Once again, no harm, no foul, boy, they looked like they had a great show down at Plymouth, man. They packed the house down there.
Yeah, and then they went to Plymouth with the World of Outlaws. And Rico won that one, and that's where Kyle Larson kind of flipped there. So that was the next night there at Plymouth. Then you were down for the Beaver Dam show with World of Outlaws Saturday. Brad Sweet passed Carson Macedo with 8 to go and took that one home.
That was a good race. There was some, crossovers this way and that way. And, oh, man, still to this day, that Beaver Dam track, they sure know how to groom that track. And it's just the perfect track. They know what they're doing there, man. It was an awesome show. Once again, that place was packed. We sat on the backside and looked over to the front, man, and I said, there was no seats over there. It didn't look like, even right down to row 1. I mean, they packed them in there pretty good. And, awesome show down there at Beaver Dam.
Yeah, unfortunately, they were supposed to run at Angel Park Sunday as well, but that got washed out. It says postponed. I don't know. They did make a date arrangement there. Sunday, October 19th, they'll be going to Angel Park there. So they'll make up that race in October.
So that really works out that weekend, because Saturday is the Halloween over at the Dells, and then go on over there to Sun Prairie for Sunday. Well, you know what I'm doing that weekend. That's already locked in. Well, yep, you'll see me there.
Yeah. It was just cool to see so many big stars in the sprint car world up here all week. Carson Macedo, Kyle Larson, of course, Rico Abreu, I know I'm going to
Casey
miss
Kane.
a few people. Yeah, Casey Kane, Brad Sweet, um,
David Gravel.
Haudenchild.
Yep. Hot and
Just
Child. Yep. All of them.
so many good drivers up here. It was cool that they did this kind of Wisconsin swing. I hope they do it next year as well, and hoping to make make a week out of it. But just awesome to see the sprint car world up here for a period of time.
You don't have to fear getting dust in your eye there, buddy. Don't fear that, man. So we'll take out there and we'll protect you from that dust in the eye there for you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I have natural goggles now, so yeah. Also, this past weekend was the Alive for Five down at Dells Raceway Park. Ty Fredrickson won that one over Casey Johnson and Gabe Summers. Looked like Fredrickson dominated and held on over Johnson. I was looking on Race Monitor there, and Fredrickson led almost all of the race, it appeared.
And, he hasn't gotten a victory in a while. So, finally got back onto the winning side. So good for Ty Fredrickson and that team right there.
Absolutely. Yep. Any other short track local racing that you want to talk about before we transition into Michigan?
I think we got it covered. We'll talk about what's coming up this weekend and like that. But let's go over to the NASCAR side and see what happened, man.
Yeah, another big weekend coming up this weekend here. But we'll talk about the truck series up at Michigan first. How about this? Luke Fenhouse on the pole. That was pretty cool to see.
He laid that down early, man, and all of a sudden nobody could beat that time. But all of Thor Sport, they were all in the top 10, so they showed some speed there at Michigan.
I will say, Ford's at Michigan. We talked about it last week. Ford's at Michigan. They really seem to show up and perform well there.
That's they kind of call their Ford. That's their home track, and they want to perform there. It's always been that way at Michigan.
It's in their backyard. So yep. Corey Heim would go on to win the stage with a last lap pass over Hocevar, and then he would also win stage 2 as well.
And Carruth, the winner week before, man, he had the bad luck award, man. He had the right rear flat, and that messed up his day right there, and it didn't get any better after that.
It didn't. Yeah, he Wood would spin and get into the wall after that, and then Carruth and Mills made contact. Carruth would spin and back it into the wall. A lot of pit strategy would start to happen here, but unfortunate for Rajah Carruth. You go from the highest of the high to the lowest of the lows there pretty quick.
You just take that one, crumple it up, throw it away, and go fight the next one, man. Don't let that bother you, because it was kind of stinky. Yeah, it was all right.
Barrett and Bird wreck hard. Some more pit strategy happened here, including the leaders this time around. But there was a red flag to fix the wall because they hit pretty hard out there.
And that took so long to get that done, And there was 18 laps to go, man. And all of a sudden, just like they were welding the wall and couldn't hang on any longer. I had to shut her off, and I had to head off to Beaver Dam, man. So I tried to catch that race. It was kind of nice to start at 11 o'clock in the morning, but I didn't get enough time to finish it up live.
Yeah. I know I almost had to do the same thing, but I was to sit it out, and then we did our deal. But Ankrum got into the wall and had to pit late. And how about the racing? It was unbelievable. Riggs brushed the wall. Chastain got loose under Hocevar and made contact with him and somehow saved that truck. I mean, that might be the save of the year, man.
Yeah, I hear you there, man. That one was everything but wrecked right there.
And then there was a caution that came out just after, kind of while that was happening. And there was concern about Hocevar's left rear, and Hocevar had to pit there. It was Riggs who ended up blowing a tire that caused that caution, but Hocevar had to pit from the lead to fix that whole deal when Chastain got into him.
Yeah, that was a bummer there, man. So, but there was so much action and so much going on here at the end, man. It got crazy.
It was crazy. Then the restart happened, and the big wreck also happened there. Chastain, Ruggiero, Heim, Hemrick, Ty, Wood, Sutton, Chandler, Mozak, Tanner Gray, all involved. It just looked like the second row got going before the front row there, and we would be headed to overtime. But massive wreck there on the restart.
Yep, they pushed them, and they all just ended up just snowballing each other, and hate seeing that, man. That's a bummer. Once all of a sudden, like, really, but yeah, they tried to time it wrong and they got into it. I think it looked like more like Gray got into. He got into. Who am I thinking of? It's the guy I had, Chastain, and Chastain came across, and then all of a sudden one thing led to another, and it was just like a 10-car pileup right there, 10-truck pileup, not a car.
Yeah. Then Allen got loose and pancaked the wall. No caution for that, but then Hemrick blew a tire going into turn 3, and we would be heading towards overtime 2, where Mills and Perez made contact. Mills would go hard into the wall. Wood and Breidinger also got a piece, but it would be Stuart Friesen taking his first win of the season over Enfinger, Fenhouse, Rhodes, LaJoy, Crafton, Garcia, Chandler Smith, Perez, and Riggs.
Far out for Friesen, huh? You know, about a month ago, he wanted to quit. He was all done with it, so frustrated and everything like that. And now he gets rewarded with a win and a playoff spot for out of Michigan there. So
I was just about to say the same thing. You know, he was so down, hadn't won in a while, missed the playoffs the last few years, and wanted to quit. He's like, maybe I should just be done with this whole deal. I think it was at Texas where he typically runs well, where he said that. Could be wrong, but yeah, then he pulls out a win, and that changes everything, doesn't it?
yeah, it seems like Friesen's always the one at the end, the last race before the playoffs start, and he's always fighting for his life to try to get him, like him and Matt Crafton all the time, that they're just trying to get over the line. But boy, when a win comes like this, man, that scrambles the points all over the place, man, and it's only going to get better here as we go.
Yeah. Honeycutt would have the fast lap there, 38.930 seconds or 184.947 miles per hour. Then the Cup Series the next day, Buescher would win stage 1. Unfortunately for Austin Cindric, who I had picked there, he had to come back to tighten some wheels. Keselowski also came back down to top off on fuel after being blocked in his pit stall early.
Yeah, we know that now. What, Briscoe's got 3 poles in a row. That's amazing in itself, right there. But yeah, we were caution free on the first stage there.
Nemechek would spin in stage 2. Gregson also spin, trying to kind of avoid there. It was kind of, I think Gregson saw him spinning and tried to turn the wheel to the left, and it just got out with underneath him there. Michigan, always a fuel mileage type deal, so some were pitting for fuel. Just after that, Cindric again made contact with Custer. Custer would spin and get up into Suarez, who got into Bowman. And what a massive hit for Alex Bowman. Briscoe also spun in that deal, and there would be another red flag. Most would pit there. Larson and Elmendinger got nabbed speeding here, but let's go back to that hit for Bowman. I mean, just an incredible impact for the 48 and that driver, man.
You and I talked, and we both agreed that he just looked like it rattled his cage, and all of a sudden, like, is he really okay? He looked like he took a wallop there, but that was a heck of a hit, man. You see the front end of that car. You never see the front end fold up underneath like that. That was a massive hit. Lucky he didn't break the wall there too, right?
Yeah. So when I was watching the interview, I texted you and I said that it looked like he was trying to gather his thoughts and his eyes were moving a lot, and it just made me think, is he hurt? Is there a concussion there? He also has a history of back injuries. Is there something going on there? But the way his eyes were moving and were kind of glossed over there, I didn't like how he looked.
He didn't look normal. You're right. He did not look normal.
And nothing's come of it, but I was kind of expecting, and I'm glad nothing came of it, but I was kind of expecting Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even today, a text saying that Alex Bowman might be out for Mexico City due to, the incident here. But luckily, it sounds like he's doing okay. So that's a great thing. But, I had a big concussion back a few years back here, Mark, and there's still some situations that I get in where I feel the effects of it. So I can only imagine, and that was crossing my mind, for him to have massive concussions and big injuries. That's what crossed my mind. Like, is this going to spur something up? You heard of many more athletes coming out speak about this. I've had my own experiences, but Dale Jr. retired because of the hits he took, and I think that put everyone on notice there. And I'm happy to hear that he's going to be down in Mexico, but I was kind of expecting the worst there. But happy that he's doing okay and he'll be down there.
In a modified last year, he flipped it and it didn't look that bad. You get jarred around like that, but this one here, holy smokes, man! Them back tires were off the ground when he hit that wall, man. Yeah, with the back injuries like that, wondered, if that was going to trigger something there. So, thankful that he's healthy and he's good to go, man. But you were right, man. He just didn't look like absolutely like himself when they interviewed him there. So, but hey, he's a good road racer, man. Nothing like taking care of that and go down to Mexico and go get a victory, right?
Hey, you never know. Yeah, he won the Chicago Street Course last year, so you just never know.
He can do it. Yeah, he's a good road racer.
For sure. Nemechek would spin again and hit the wall. More pit strategy here in stage 2, including Elliott, who was leading. He would initially get penalized for improper fueling, but I think they ended up rescinding that a short while after.
Wasn't this crazy during this race, man? There was people that were behind were up front, and then these ones were back here. And these ones had fuel. This one had, and there was so much strategy. And you could sit there and watch for a while, and your guy would be doing really well. Then all of a sudden, he ain't doing so well. And finally, all of a sudden, when we got to stage 3, things started coming around. Where all these strategies was going to come about. But it was a complete tumbler all day out there.
It was. Blaney would get into the wall and spin. Bell had just pit there, so he would end up being the free pass there. But Byron would go on and win the stage.
Yeah, Byron was the guy right there to look like, because he had second in the first stage, and thought, Byron's going to be the guy that you're going to have to beat here.
Larson had a battery that was dying there. You were wondering if it could last over 60 laps. It ended up being okay for him, but Gilliland would blow a tire and hammer the wall with the back of the car there out of turn 2.
That was a nasty one too. I just absolutely clobbered the wall hard in turn 2 there.
Hocevar was leading, but blew a left rear. Some more tire troubles for him at Michigan. But, man, is he showing some speed here, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's one that pops off a win here before the regular season ends.
It's crazy, man. He's just like, he's a guy that don't go away. All of a sudden, he's fast and he's up front, and I think people are starting to take him serious. Like, dude, he's always up there, and yeah, I can see a victory coming out of here. He had it right at the tips of his fingers right there going into Michigan, man. That back left tire screwed him.
Hamlin would do the best on fuel saving, and he was the best on fuel after his pit stop. He would pass Byron, who would end up running out of fuel with a lap and a half left, and he would go on and win the race over Buescher, Gibbs, Wallace, Larson, Chastain, Zane Smith, Busch, Preece, and Keselowski. And, Hamlin brought back the old I beat your favorite driver. What do you think about that, Mark?
Hey, Daddy, I just beat your best driver. Which one? All of them. All of them, he said. I got to laugh. All the fans get all irritated about that. And I think he likes that even more just to get the fans all in an uproar, and I think he likes that. And, hey, if you're going to play villain, man, just, go with it. And it's entertaining. I love it.
I thought it got old after you used it 2 or 3 times last year, and I think you and I were both like, okay, it's time to move on. But all of a sudden he brought it back, and I chuckled too. I was like, hey, and it got a good reaction, and they were talking about it on Sirius XM all week. And then on top of it, he doubled down and did the OHIO for Ohio State in Michigan. So I know he has a lot of friends that are Ohio State fans and alums, but yeah, he doubled down on top of it.
He played such a smart race, dude. He stayed behind Byron, and Byron being in the lead was was burning the fuel, and he just sat back, and yeah, they put this up on there and showing miles per gallon on these vehicles and see how they go. And too bad for Byron, man. He was he was right there, and all of a sudden she puked on him. And God, he was gonna either be first or second, and just by running out of fuel and come back out, he finished 28th, man. Like, wow, just lost his whole day there on the last lap.
Yeah. Heartbreaker for sure. But he did have the fastest lap. Byron did 37.300 seconds, which equals 193.029 miles per hour. Yeah, it was an interesting fuel mileage race there. Michigan, I'll tell you what, it was an exciting weekend. There was some really good racing that went on both days there.
Yes, very much so. That Michigan race, that Cup race was something else there, and comers and goers and entertaining as all heck, and really enjoyed it, man. That was good stuff.
So I'm gonna let you know about a few things happening this weekend before we get into like the IndyCar, NASCAR schedule, and then of course local racing. Formula One, the Canada race will be at 1 p.m. Coming up here on Sunday. In addition to that, there is the Le Mans race happening. That will be Saturday at 9 a.m. there. So the 24 hours Le Mans is going on this weekend, and I guess that'll be a good transition to talk about news here. I'm not sure the channels. ESPN will be Formula One. I'm not sure on the channel for Le Mans. I know they have their own kind of service, the endurance racing series does, and you can purchase that and watch it. I'm not exactly sure of the
probably
channel.
Maybe Peacock, I'm guessing, but
Maybe
that'd be that's the first place I'd look. But anyway,
yeah, I can find that out while we're talking some things here. But interesting thing coming out from Le Mans is the Porsche Penske Motorsport number 6 has been disqualified from qualifying. As a result, the car will start from the back of the hypercar class grid for the 24 hours of Le Mans there. So a penalty coming out here for, once again, a Penske affiliated car.
okay, yeah, you put that in there with the Penske one, so yep, they're getting a lot of penalty flags this year so far.
Yeah. Then there's not much for news this week, but there was some big news happening with the Truck Series. Ram is going to enter the Truck Series in 2026. No teams or drivers were announced. They hope to have 4 to 6 teams at Daytona in February. The intention is for Dodge or another Stellantis brand to come to Cup, but to be determined when that will be announced. But 2027 is possible for that to happen too. But Ram a few years ago split away from Dodge, so it's its own brand under Stellantis. So Ram is back in the Truck Series.
All they gotta do is get their foot in the door, dude, and they got it. And hey, how do you like the uncovering it? And then they had the thing doing a burnout or doing doing donuts and all kinds of smoke everywhere, and it was quite entertaining, man. Good. I'm happy. I'm glad to see Dodge is back, and I think there's a lot of other people that would like that too.
Well, remember, it's not Dodge just yet. Or is Dodge going to come back into the Cup Series? But we'll see.
I'm saying you can see the way I'm talking that I think one will be together, and I think that'll work together.
So just looking here, going back to Le Mans, it looks like Max covers a bunch of it, or you can go through that Endurance TV there on how they do it. But I really do not see anywhere else to watch Le Mans, which is kind of surprising. You would think maybe like a Peacock or someone would be covering that there, but I guess not.
Okay, so
in the UK, it's like on TNT, and I know they cover a bunch of stuff, but
wait a day and go YouTube. There you go. Go YouTube a day later, and you'll be able to pick it up. So there's one way or another. If you want to see it, you're going to be able to figure it out. So it's out there.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll give away a free trial or something going on there. I'll have to do some more research here, but Oh, it
You're the
also looks
research guy.
like Motor Trend will also have it. So Motor Trend and Max. I know Motor Trend came out a few years ago. It is available on quite a few platforms. I think they even have their own app. So look out for that if you want to watch the 24-hour of Le Mans. But continue on here. Yes, very good that we have another manufacturer into the sports. It sounds like Stellantis wants to bring another brand of Cup. Maybe that's Dodge. Maybe that's something else here in 2027. But very good news for us in NASCAR. In the Cup Series, Form Energy will be the primary sponsor for Byron for 2 races in 2026, 4 races in 2027, as well as an associate sponsor on Bowman Larson and Byron cars. It is an Anheuser-Busch product, so that may keep it off of Chase Elliott's car since he has a pretty good deal with Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay. So Hendrick doesn't have a problem ever getting sponsors. So line them up here and there. Yeah, you see a lot of times 2, 3, 4 years down the road, man, they got it all planned out.
Chicago Street Race has signed Arby's as one of its main primary presenting sponsors. So Arby's is going to be a sponsor at the Chicago Street Race. So Chicago will have the meats.
Who doesn't like Arby's, right? Huh? The
Yeah.
meats and racing. Yeah, that's good stuff. I've already chased myself over to Arby's real quick before a race and get home. Get some of that good roast beef. Yeah, that's good
Yeah.
stuff over there.
Yeah. And then it was announced that the 2026 Daytona 500, yes, we're already talking about that, will be February 15th, 2026. So tickets went on sale just the other day, yesterday or today. So you can purchase your Daytona 500 tickets, and that'll be on February 15th there. So
So the NFL was talking about moving their Super Bowl, and I don't know. I haven't seen what the Super Bowl. I haven't looked at the NFL where that's going to clash because there was talk about that because of President's Day that the NFL wants that date, the Super Bowl, and President's Day, everybody or most government workers are on Monday, not us common folk, right? And then figure out NASCAR would have to figure out what to do. Wouldn't that be great? I think they should run the Daytona 500 on a Saturday night and then have the Super Bowl on Sunday. No, you don't like that?
no,
Is that too much
if
for you there, buddy?
this is what I would do if I were doing it, I would run the Daytona 500 during the day on Sunday, move it up to like noon, and then have the Super Bowl come on at night. It almost would be like the greatest day in motorsports where you got Formula One, Indy 500, and the Coca-Cola 600. To me, if I was going to do it, that would be the thing. But you have to remember for 2026, this won't be affected. It may be affected in 2027 because the Super Bowl is going to be February 8th this upcoming year.
Okay.
But then in 2027 in February, it's February 14th. So that's where we're running into that. Where does NASCAR make a schedule change? But that, I mean, we haven't even seen the release of the 2020. We're talking about the first race of 2026. We haven't even gotten to the release of the 2026 season, let alone think about the Daytona 500 in 2027.
Well,
So
you started it. You brought it up. Daytona 500. We're talking next year already. So hey,
yeah,
let's go. Let's go. Speed weeks. I'm working on
maybe.
your speed weeks. Let's do it.
Maybe it could work. It could work. It's Valentine's weekend, and you should be very romantic about racing.
Yeah, I could be romantic, long distance, telling my wife I'm having a good time.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Well, come on out to the beach with us. You know,
yeah,
nothing wrong with that.
absolutely, and I'll make up for it. The week before and the week after, and maybe a couple weeks here and there. Yeah, all the way to Mother's Day. How does that sound?
I was gonna say all the way to the icebreaker.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, sometimes I guess if you're hauling the load. So, yeah, good idea
Yeah,
there, buddy.
yeah. Well, man, let's talk about the upcoming weekend here. Big weekend up here in Wisconsin again. Not only do we have the A&W Towing and Repair Red Race, sponsored by LNS Electric and Infinity Machine and Engineering Corp. But we also got the ASA Stars National Tour coming up here on Friday at Madison International Speedway. TUNDRA Super Late Models with the Bev Aschenbrenner Memorial on Saturday, which is a great event as well. And then Sunday, the ASA Stars National Tour goes to Slinger. So another great event there. So a huge weekend up here starting tomorrow night already. Well, actually,
Yep.
you could include the Clash in there. So all week, this is a massive week of racing up here.
Yeah, love it, man. This is an awesome weekend, Father's Day weekend, man. No better way to spend it out at the racetrack, right?
That's right. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it out. One of my children is going to have a procedure Friday, so that puts me out for this weekend on Father's Day. But I'll sit here, pay attention to it, and be a good father and take it all in. So, but Mark, I think you're heading where, to Marshfield potentially on Saturday, and then Slinger on Sunday.
Yep, that's which direction I'm going to go do the Thursday night. And then, yeah, I've got something going on Friday. And then Saturday, run up to Marshfield and then boogie back and then get down to Slinger for Sunday, man. And looking forward to that 300, man. Man, did you see the lineup of the cars that are coming? There's a bunch of heavy hitters, man. It's going to be a good one.
It is
Cool.
going to be an awesome one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I really wish I could make it down to Madison. That's going to be an incredible show. We haven't seen the Stars National Tour at Madison since last year with the Joe Shear Classic. Haven't seen them at Slinger. Those four barrels going to rip around Slinger. That would be an absolutely incredible show to watch too. And yeah, the Stars National Tour is doing that double header. Last year it was the double header with Madison in Milwaukee, but this year it's Madison and Slinger, and that is going to be, gosh, just a great doubleheader.
We sure hope it's really supported, man, because this northern swing, we want to keep this an annual thing. So we need fans to get out there and support one or both of these events also. And hey, that Marshfield Tundra deal is also one big deal up there too, and that also needs support too. So so we're begging the fans, get out there and support your local track this weekend. This is where we're really pushing for it here.
Oh man, yes, please, 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 if you're able to, get out and support these events. Man, we need the Stars National Tour to keep getting bigger and better and keep going around and making the northern swing. And we need the Tundra Series to be successful too. We need the racetracks to all be successful. You think about Greg McCarnes and Wayne Breivik runs Marshfield. The DeBoer family owns it up there, and you think about Slinger with the Dasso family taking that over. We need everyone, all series, all owners, all tracks to be successful. So get out and support your tracks starting. If you're not out at the dirt stuff tonight, get out to the asphalt and dirt stuff this weekend. It's needed. So get out there and support it.
It's just like this. All fans on deck. There you go. All racing fans on deck. Let's go.
Yes, that's right. And then the rest of the weekend, if you're not able to get out there and you're looking for other racing other than Formula One and Le Mans that we mentioned, IndyCar is out at Worldwide Technology Raceway, which is a great track. I was down there for the truck race one year. So IndyCar is down there, and this is kind of how their schedule looks. Saturday at 10:30 on FS1 will be IndyCar practice. 12:05 will be IndyCar next practice, or Indy next practice, I should say. 2 o'clock also on FS1 will be IndyCar qualifying. 3:35 on FS2 will be Indy next qualifying, and 5:30 on FS2 as well. IndyCar practice gets going. On Sunday, then, this is going to be a Sunday night deal, so this is going to work in nicely for the people maybe going to the Slinger that can maybe catch a little bit on the way home or at home after, or if you're staying home and watching NASCAR, this could work into our advantage too on Sunday. 3:30 on FS1 will be the Indy next race, 75 laps there. 7 o'clock on Fox's pre-race, and 7:20 on Fox is the IndyCar race, 260 laps down there. So not till 7:20 Central does the IndyCar race get going. In the 80s, 35 to 50% chance of moisture down there, 20% Sunday night. So Sunday night's looking the best when all the racing action is going to happen. So they got an exciting weekend coming up here for IndyCar. As far as NASCAR, Mexico City, this has been a hot topic for ever since it's been announced. No matter how you feel about it, the thing I'm excited about is that it's a new track that we haven't been to since 2008. So it's a new track. It's going to provide a lot of great racing action, I believe, because of that, since we haven't been there for so long. So I'm hopeful that that'll happen and that it's a great event and everything goes smoothly. This is what the TV schedule looks like for Mexico City. Friday on 12:05 on Prime will be Cup practice. 1:05 on the CW app will be Xfinity practice. Then 2 o'clock back on Prime will be Cup practice. Then switch back over 2:30 on the CW app, Xfinity practice. And then 3:30, the Mexico Series has a race, 50 laps there. Saturday, 9:30 on the CW app will be Xfinity qualifying. 11 o'clock on Prime, Cup qualifying. 12:45, the Mexico Series has another race, 40 laps. And then 3:30 on the CW, Xfinity race gets going, stages of 20, 20, and 25. Then Sunday, 2 o'clock on Prime, the Cup race will get going, stages of 20, 25, and 55 in the 70s with 20% chance of moisture, although Saturday afternoon, 70% chance. So Saturday afternoon could be a challenge, but we'll be all right. And up here, we'll be all right too. So that'll knock some percent off, as you'd like to say, Mark.
It always knocks the percent off there, but NASCAR better make sure they brought some extra rain tires this weekend because we might be dealing with that just a little bit, but we'll be all right. So we just dropped that down to 65%. We'll be all right.
Yeah. As far as our picks go, let's get into it. Obviously, for the Cup Series, there has been no winner down there, but the last winner in the Xfinity Series down in Mexico City was Kyle Busch back in 2008. You get to pick first for this one, buddy. Who do you got?
Do I get to pick first this week? Because somehow it got a little bit messed up last week.
Well, I challenged you also, and I was thinking, wait a minute here, and you're like, no, you got your series mixed up, but I didn't. You were thinking Hemrick was in Xfinity and he was in truck, and it all worked out.
That Chastain pick was going to be a winner, man. If he didn't get taken out on that restart, he was right there. Would have been a good fight with Hocevar, but it all blew up right there.
Well, that would have sat in my craw a little bit that you had that I was supposed to have the first pick, but you picked first and went for Chastain, and I went to Hocevar, and you cut my tire down. That would have sat in my craw for a little bit, but
so
we'll move
anyway,
on.
I'll take the first pick, man. I already knew he was racing there already till a week and a half ago already, and man, you can't beat him on a road course, man. I'm going to take him. He's going to be in a 24 car this weekend. That's going to be Christopher Bell. And that's the one I'm going to pick. There's so many you could pick here, though. There's a whole bunch that can win here on Saturday. But yeah, Christopher Bell is my pick.
That shocked me that you went towards Christopher Bell. Not that I don't think he's going to be a front runner, not that I don't think he's going to win, but I thought you were going to go this route, which I did not plan for. So I was looking at guys like Chastain, Suarez, who's going to be in the Junior Motorsports number 9. I was looking at him, and I was looking at Bell a little bit, or Gibbs is in the 19. I was leaning towards Gibbs, but since you didn't pick this guy, I have to go with Connor Zilich.
Why not? Yep. As soon as you pick that, I'm going, well, okay, I have a challenge on my hands this weekend.
For the Cup Series, like I said, no defending winner down there, but I was thinking about going SVG. Daniel Suarez, maybe hometown track, but I like how this guy has been driving lately. He does have some experience around Mexico City. Not that that matters because it was a while back and in a different series, but I'm going to pick AJ Allmendinger.
That's a good pick because that was going to be my pick because I thought you were taking SVG, and that's where I was all of a sudden just like, well, if you're going to go that direction, well, then I'll go with SVG. And we'll take Van Gisbergen. Hey, man, we look at our records like that. You only have one top 5 in all the cup picks this year. Is that true?
So yeah, let's do a little recap here since we're into the season a little bit. You're up 14. You have 36 points to my 22. For wins, you have 12 to my 3. Top 5s, you have 21 to my 15, and I only have 1 in cup. Top 10s, you have 28 to my 22. Average finish is actually pretty close, which is disappointing that I'm down so much. Your average finish across the board is 11.26 minus 11.86. And DNFs, you have 9 DNFs to my 5. And somehow I find myself down 14 once again. I got it to single digits. And then you creeped ahead a little bit. So I need a couple of good weekends here. The thing I told you about is, you were saying, hey, you came back from this far back the last time. I was down a little. What was the lead? You were up 19 or 18, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
And the problem was I had some people in my back pocket last year that I hadn't used until late in the season where I've burned some guys early this season and it hasn't worked out. So that's the thing that's got me concerned. But long way to go. A lot of racing. We'll see what happens. But
long way to go. Good. We're not even a 4th of July yet, so we got lots and lots of miles and laps out there.
You've had a good first third of the season or whatever it is. So kudos to you, and I'm hoping to catch you.
All right. Pressure's on, buddy.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate everyone. Tim with the Corp Racing, Ben and Kerry with Valley Gasket. Again, thank you for all the support. Thank you, Mitch Meyerhofer, for coming on. That was great talking to him. Thanks, everyone else, for your support. It truly means the world to me. I had some people reach out to me, and I never know what to say because, there's a lot of times where you think about giving up or you think it's not going well, and then you have the people reach out to you and say, keep going, and we're helping. So that's what this is about. And I just appreciate everyone reaching out and supporting this thing, and we'll continue on. But just want to say I appreciate everyone when you reach out and say stuff like that, or even constructive criticism. I know that's not a popular phrase in today's world, but if you don't think you can get better, you're doing something wrong, or you probably should stop doing what you're doing. So that's just my view on life in total. But yeah, I just want to, I know I say it every time, but it hit home this week and everything. And so just want to say thank you to everyone. Get out and support your local racetracks tomorrow night for the Red Race out at WIR. Friday down at Madison with the ASA Stars National Tour. Saturday, the Tundra Series up at Marshfield. And then Sunday, the ASA Stars National Tour at Slinger. And all the other local tracks that are racing. Get out and support them. Hope you have a great weekend. Mark, I appreciate the hell out of you as well. Appreciate everything that you're doing for this program and everything. Much appreciated as well. And hey, man, we'll see you tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you soon.
We'll see you at the Red Race tomorrow night, man.
See ya.
This has been a production of Lore Sports. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.